What's up, everybody? It's Monday. I'm back, and I have my coffee, as always. I got fresh new nail polish. Look at that. And we're doing the newest, it's not that new, it's been out for a few weeks, but the newest Rainbow Kitten surprise song. Silly name, serious band, kind of like Schlotsky's Silly Name, Serious Sandwich. So yeah, new Rainbow Kitten surprise. Song's called Drop, Stop, and Roll. We'll get into it in just a minute. But before I do, a few things as always. First of all, I'm not a professional. Please don't expect me to be analyzing this as a professional would. Don't be a dick. You know, this kind of music tends to be pretty easy for most people to appreciate, but not everybody's going to like it, and that's okay. Let's just try to keep it polite in the comments. And finally, there are members of Rainbow Kitten Surprise who are trans, and as I always do when I'm dealing with artists who are queer or trans, I will just make it clear, if you have a problem, you can fuck off. Not interested in hearing your takes on gender identity, okay? We support trans rights on this channel, and if you don't, then you're welcome to just go watch somebody else's. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. This is Rainbow Kitten Surprise with Drop, Stop, and Roll.
Drop, stop, and rollin', baby, knocking on your door. You're never home. Lock, stock, two loaded barrels. Said it heard 10 to 12, fired into the living room. Hot box and old Mercedes, yeah, I was passing to me, though you know I never smoke. Feeling like a lie, like it was lately. Lot of going on, not a lot of coming in, that's how it goes. Barry taught you how to rock and roll, Molly taught you how to hit the floor, Muddy on the water, on the rock sand. Body hit the floor, party's over, Drop, stop, and call your mama. You know she think about you when you're gone. Left your phone on the charger home. Driving around to your song come on the radio. We walked in like we hit the lotto. Me from Silicon, you a supermodel. Wonder what it's like to be a rock star. Well, chainsaw to the wall. This a Wall Street in some room. Barry taught you how to rock and roll, Molly taught you how to hit the floor, Muddy on the water, on the rock sand. Body hit the floor, party's over, Walked in like we hit the lotto. Yeah, ready for it. Yeah, ready for it. Yeah, ready for it. Yeah, ready for it. Barry taught you how to rock and roll, Molly taught you how to hit the floor, Muddy on the water, on the rock sand. Body hit the floor, party's over,
That song is so good. So I'm not going to probably dive into too much lyrical analysis. I don't necessarily have a whole lot to say. Barry taught you how to rock and roll. That's Chuck Berry. I'm not exactly sure who Molly is. To me, that's MDMA. But I'm sure there's an artist whose name is Molly. That I don't know. Muddy Waters reference. So referencing some musicians, right? I will say, again, like I said, I'm not going to dive too deep into trying to analyze the themes of the song, because I don't feel like that's necessarily something I have a firm grasp on right now. But I will say, it is true that your mom wants you to call her more, as does mine. And I do remember driving around, waiting, hoping that a song that I wanted to hear would come on. So when I first started driving, I was 16, 17. And my exposure to popular music, and not just popular, but like alternative, right, was fairly limited. I've mentioned this before, but my parents were fairly strict on what sorts of things I was allowed to listen to, right? A lot of Christian music, very little non-Christian music, and there were plenty of Christian bands I wasn't allowed to listen to either. Under Oath was a little bit too edgy for my parents. So the only times I really had access to music that wasn't being controlled by my parents was radio. And there's a Rammstein song called Radio, which is about living in, I believe, East Berlin, and how valuable having a radio was to keep you in touch with the outside world, to bring in new ideas and new sounds, right? You get new music that way. You get pop music that way. You get maybe different kinds of radio broadcasts that are not just, political propaganda or whatever. And it was the same way for me. Obviously, I didn't live in East Berlin. Nothing that serious. But I didn't have a lot of options. So the way I discovered new music was I drove around and I listened to the radio, and I hoped that I would hear a song that had lyrics that I could Google later, right, and figure out who it was by. And that was a big deal. That was a big part of my musical discovery. That's how I found bands like My Chemical Romance and Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, The Used. It's also how I found out about bands like Stained and Trapped, which people are still mad about that Stained video. Sorry. I know that's just a one line, and it might just be a throwaway line, but it resonated to me because part of my life was trying to get access to this music that I knew was out there, that I wanted to listen to, but I generally wasn't allowed to. So I would sit in the car, after I was parked. I would try to take the long way places just so that I could hopefully get at least one song that I felt that like hit me. Other stuff, obviously this is not a music video, so there's not a lot to say about the visuals. There may be one soon, but I wanted to do this now. I really like the music for this. Rainbow Kitten Surprise really does do some beautiful finger picking, right? Just a sort of gentle, relaxed picking. The drums on this one are really good. I love the second verse. I love the little drum fill they have going in the background. And then at the very end, where it kicks the drums from the back of the mix, I guess. Again, I'm not an audio professional, but it kicks the drums from being in the background to being much more clear and distinct than at the front. And you get that I think hi-hat, probably the hi-hat and the snare. It has, again, I've talked about syncopation before, right? But you've got those accented notes. Accents are when you play a note louder than the rest or more firmly than the rest. That helps you get that offbeat rhythm. Right? That's the accent on that last note. And I really like that little drum fill. I wouldn't say it's necessarily that complicated, although that doesn't mean I can play it. I'm just saying, like, things don't have to be complicated to be effective. And I don't think that drum fill is. I bet that the drummer could do it in his sleep. See, I don't know who in the band. This is possibly my fault. I don't know who in the band is gender nonconforming, so I'll just say I bet the drummer could play that fill in their sleep. But it's still really effective. It's infectious. It's catchy. It kind of gets in your head. Yeah, I really like this one. I'm excited for new music. I am hoping there will be a new album sometime soon. I don't have any clarity or inside information on that, but I'm hopeful that there will be something new soon. And when there is, you can be confident that I will be on it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Drink lots of water. And be good to each other.